What's up, gangsters? It's a question as old as time itself. Are found footage horror movies still worthy of our time in the year of our Lord 2023? Luckily, we have the Outwaters to find out. A little independent found footage horror movie written and directed and everything by and starring Robbie Banfitch, who you might know from the Outwaters. I mean, that's where I know him from. And I'm fairly neutral when it comes to found footage horror movies. The Blair Witch Project was pretty good. Remember that one? Although, now that I think of it, I have actually seen a handful of memorable ones that I quite liked. Titles like Noroi the Cursed. Is that how you pronounce it? Rack or Record? How do you pronounce that one? Lake Mungo I thought was fantastic. Creep was fun. So, yeah, let's see how the Outwaters fares among these titles. But first, I am a bit of an unnecessarily nitpicky asshole when it comes to found footage movies, so let's get that out of the way first. It's kind of my usual complaints. The movie opens with the obligatory missing persons and a statement as to, like what we're seeing, where this footage comes from. Okay, so then which scallywag in the Mojave County Police Department added a soundtrack to this raw material? Even if you were to argue like, it's there. The scary sounds or music, they're just filming it. Well, then, first of all, excellent choice for a road trip music playlist. But also, you still can't jump cut and have the music continuously playing. Set me free, didn't know. That's just not how raw footage works. But maybe I should just stop being so petty and skip the nitpicking. Although, in all honesty, when it comes to found footage movies, I do always feel like, just stick to the gimmick. Like, I love it when filmmakers just have the balls to go out and shoot on actual consumer grade cameras with just the audio through an onboard microphone. Not being too concerned with the quality of the image or the audio. I mean, it's like, you're shooting a found footage movie. Make it authentic. Although, granted, when it comes to that, the Outwaters does come somewhat close, as this really was just Robbie going out to shoot a movie with his friends and family. So, I do respect that. So, we mostly follow Robbie as he's mostly filming all of this. He's going to shoot a music video for his friend in the Mojave Desert with the help of his brother and another friend. But not before we are subjected to some relatively uneventful shenanigans. I guess it's sort of like to establish the characters and the found footage world, if you will. But I don't know. It kind of feels like oh, you have to do it like this, like when it comes to this genre. But it's not necessarily making for riveting content, now is it? It's not super fun, like on a rewatch. Especially not if it takes up literally half of the movie. But don't worry, it'll break convention. Little by little, towards the halfway point of the movie, some weird things start to happen until the movie is totally flipped upside down for the remaining half. We've covered some polarizing movies during this series so far, specifically Skinamarink, and here we have another one that's quite divisive due to its very experimental nature of the movie's second half. Again, I might be on the wrong side of things because, but like with Skinamarink, I'm not upset. In fact, I love the fact that these low-budget, more experimental, do-it-yourself projects are being more widely seen. I think that's a good thing for the genre. So, let's take a look at that second half. Well, although really quick, I went into this movie completely blind, like I have with a lot of these titles in this series, and that was quite the experience. So if you want to experience it, especially the second half like that as well, I suggest you skip to this time mark, so you won't have any of it spoiled. Okay? Okay. The remainder of the movie couldn't be in more contrast with the beginning, because before you know it, this movie has slowly turned into a cosmic horror movie where all rationality is thrown out the window, which I found quite frustrating while watching. It's like, as soon as you're in, there's no characters or nothing to hold on to as a viewer. It's just crazy shit seemingly for the fuck of it, with none of the characters reacting to any of it in a rational way. But like, really, what the fuck is this? Half the time I had no idea what I was even looking at. So much of it is just Robbie wandering around with a flashlight pointing in the pitch black darkness. And you know how you can generally adjust the size of the beam, like the width on your flashlight? Because this guy sure fucking doesn't. And then stuff just happens. This happens, that happens. Sometimes the characters, they do run into each other, they talk, but they're not really saying anything. It all feels very delusional, almost surreal. It basically becomes a non-stop nightmare. It's all nonsensical in a dreamlike way. It totally goes off the rails, which does make for some rather interesting sequences. But also, why the fuck are you still recording all of this, Robbie? Like, you didn't have to film this. And then the movie just sorta ends. Yeah, that's the Outwaters. And while I definitely didn't love it, I do appreciate it. It's quite ambitious, and I don't know, like I feel like low-key, I did love it as sort of like this experimental audiovisual, like visceral experience. Even though I experienced it as quite boring. And there was the unhinged second half. Like the first half really just didn't do much for me. Yeah. It's a frustrating watch, especially if you hold on maybe like a little too much to more like traditional narrative expectations. But the first half of this movie really sets the whole movie up like that, so can't really blame the audience. And yet, I don't know, like, I guess it did have its like cosmic charm. There's two shorts also made by Robbie Benfitch that sort of like serve as companion pieces to this feature-length movie, but I haven't gotten around to seeing them yet. I feel like, as for now, I've had enough Outwaters. Whatever that is. Anyway, what do you guys think? You know the drill by now. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll take a look at them and read them. And then I'll see you guys again in a couple of days. That would be nice, right? Cheers. Have a nice day.